Good day to all. Today we are going to see about a introduction about two-dimensional element. Okay, so that is a 2D element. So far we have seen about one-dimensional element, bar element and beam element. Today we are going to see about two-dimensional elements. Okay, a structural mechanics problem can be considered as a 2D. That means if we are able to make a reasonable assumptions about the unknown parameter in the third dimension. For example, if you wanted to analyze the stress or strain, okay, suppose a problem dimensionality is in 3D. For let us assume that the problem dimensionality in real life, all the problems are assumed as three-dimensional problem, right? Suppose in this three-dimensional problem, if we can make a suitable assumptions about the unknown parameter, that means it may be a stress or it may be a strain in the third dimension, then we can go with a 2D analysis. Okay, so that is the problem statement. When we can go for 2D analysis, a structural mechanics problem can be considered as 2D if we are able to make a reasonable assumptions about the unknown parameter. That means the unknown parameters are called as stress or strain, or it may be a scalar problem, temperature or pressure, any one. Okay, in the third dimension, if we can assume about the unknown parameter in the third dimension, we can convert the 3D problem to 2D problem. Okay, then what is mean by 2D element? That means a 2D elements, a two-dimensional elements are defined by 3 or more node in a two-dimensional plane xy. Then the basic element useful for two-dimensional analysis is the triangular element. Okay, so far we have seen a one-dimensional element, that is a bar element or it may be a beam element. Only it will be having two node, right? Node 1 and 2. For each degrees of freedom, each node it can take a x degrees of freedom, or it can take a lateral deflection or theta. So these are called beam element or bar element. Now in a two-dimensional plane or two-dimensional element, we will be having x and y coordinates, right? For a single element, it should be having a x and y coordinate. For example, if you consider this, then this may be called as node number 1 and node number 2 and node number 3. Okay, for each node it will be having two directional degrees of freedom. So if it deflect in x direction, we will call it as u, and if it deflects in y direction, we will call it as v. Since this is node number 1, we can make it as u1 and this is v1. Similarly for second node, so this is u2 and this is v2. Similarly for third node, this is u3 and this is v3. Okay, so this is called a two-dimensional element. It should be having two or more node. Okay, three or more node. Minimum 3 node element, we will call it as triangular element, or it can be 4 noded, that is called a rectangular element. The given two-dimensional geometry can be splitted like this. Okay, now what are all the types of 2D analysis are available? So this is the types of 2D analysis. One is a vector valued problem and another is scalar valued problem. Okay, in vector valued problem, we will be having again three types. One is plane stress, and another one is plane strain, and the third one is axisymmetric. Okay, so now we can go with scalar valued problem. That means here the governing differential equation in be the form of a Laplace form or Poisson's form. Okay, these two kind of formation can be solved for pressure, velocity, temperature, etc. Okay, so this is called scalar value problem. A vector value problem will be having magnitude and direction. Okay, so now let us look for what do you mean by plane stress analysis. Okay, so what do you mean by plane stress analysis? So consider this is your one of the example for plane stress. So these two are example for plane stress. This is example number 1 and this is example number 2. In real life problem, so this is assumed as a bracket. These two are called as bracket, right? One end may be fixed and another one may be, another one side may be, the load may act on some other side. Okay, even though this kind of bracket will be having a thickness, right? So it will be having some thickness, right? So we are assuming that the thickness is 0. So we are not going to assume anything. Okay, so that is called plane stress problem. And one more thing, if you take this geometry in XY plane, the Z direction is completely negligible. That means the stresses produced sigma Z and the shear stress produced tau XZ or tau YZ. So these quantity are assumed as 0 for plane stress condition. Okay, so this is the very important concept. And the next one is plane strain concept. Okay, so this is plane strain concept. That means the similar in the Z direction. So see here it is X and Y and Z is also there, and in Z direction we will be having a very biggest length or biggest dimension in Z direction. So we are purposely omitting that direction. Here we will be assuming the strain in Z direction and shear strain in Z direction. Okay, let me write it as another symbol. Okay, strain in shear strain in Z direction with respect to X and shear strain in Y direction with respect to Z is also called as 0. Okay, the simplest example is we will be having a dam. Here the water will be stored. Okay, so the constant, the area of the constant, area of the cross section of the dam is constant throughout the length. Even though the length is very big, the constant of the cross section will be, the cross sectional area will be constant throughout the length. Okay, so here if you consider it as a plane strain problem, then we will be having a diagram like this. Okay, and the water pressure will be acting at this edge. Okay, we can call it as this is completely fixed in this area, and the pressure, water pressure can be applied on this edge, and what will be the deformation and stresses produced in this cross section can be analyzed. So that is called plane strain. And one more example, A long cylindrical pressure vessel subjected to a internal or external pressure and constrained at the end, okay, like this. So this is can be pressure can be acted throughout the length. We can take it as a one cross section. That cross section can be taken like this. A pressure load is acting throughout to the whole area, whole outer edge of the pipe, okay. So this is called plane strain analysis, okay. And remember, in plane strain, the strain produced in the z direction or the shear strain produced in the z direction are zero, okay. Now we will move on to the next type of problem, that is called axis symmetric analysis, okay. When we call it as axisymmetric analysis, and when we will go with axisymmetric analysis means the geometry, material property, support conditions and loading all are symmetry with respect to its center axis, for example. So this is considered as axis symmetric. So this is a pressure vessel, okay. Inside, the pressure is acting throughout uniform in all direction, right? So we can call this as a axis symmetric analysis. So with respect to its axis, if you draw the axis like this, it will be there, right? So that is why we are considering like this. So this is axis of the component, and the uniform pressure is acting in all the edges, all the inside edges. So we can call it as an axis symmetric analysis. The geometry, this cross sectional geometry is symmetry with respect to its 360 degree, okay. So let us draw an axis here, okay. The same problem. So the cross section, so this cross section is constant, okay, throughout with respect to its axis. So this is axis. Wherever you cut this model, you will get the same kind of cross section, okay. The cross section is constant. And the material property, suppose if you assume a material property as steel body, okay, then the Young's modulus throughout the cross section will be constant, okay. So material property, geometry and support condition. So suppose if you are fixing at this edge, okay, this support condition is also symmetric, and the pressure generated inside the pressure vessel, okay. So that is also uniform throughout its cross sections, throughout its component. Then this is said to be an axis symmetric element. So that is a separate topic, we will see it later, okay. So I hope you might have understand the concept of two-dimensional element, okay. So in this unit we are going to see constant strain triangular element, that is called CST, okay. Constant strain triangular element. In our syllabus we will be having only this two-dimensional element, that is subjected to two conditions: plane stress and also plane strain, okay. So thank you very much. So this will be help you to understand the basics of two-dimensional element, okay. So we will see how we can derive the shape functions, like we have already derived it for one-dimensional element and bar element, beam element, that we can derive in next video, okay. Thank you very much.